Hello, my name is AJ. I'm your HYPOXiX coach for today, and we have level 2.2 standing split. We're going to begin with the yellow band at about navel height, and you're going to put that around the pelvis. Now, if you're working with a HYPOXiX coach and they've suggested some other kind of resistance for you based on your unique assessment, then of course you want to follow that because that's going to optimize your program. Otherwise, it's the perfect starting place, so let us begin. Facing away from the tether point. Now that band's pulling you back in your heels and you're always starting in that little bit of a hip hinge. In fact, put your hand on your low back, hinge. Make sure that you're hinging from the hip joint and not from the low back. Stride length, specific, important because we're working all different widths and lengths of our feet to enhance our hip mobility and stability. Now here, a 4-foot stride length. Let's have our right foot forward together so that we can have the same foot forward and I can cue you through. Interlace your fingers, pull them apart, so if the fingers are slippery, they would pull apart like this, engaging your lats, and then bring the arms as high as they can go without popping the ribs. So check it out. I'm coming up, 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 up. I'm working shoulder mobility. Try to start with your non-dominant grip on top first, and then do the other side when we go to the other side so that you can work that hand and wrist and elbow stability and mobility. Okay, so we're hinged here. Gaze specificity. We're staring at our knee when we're in the hinge position. And then when we come up, you're moving to a panoramic view. So find the farthest point on your right and the farthest point on your left that you can find and stare at it every single time you come to the upright position. So here's what the movement looks like today. You come up for 2 beats of the metronome, down. So you're just moving a hinge position and the torso is moving, but you're not letting your low back move. So sometimes I like to cue, put your hand on your low back first, just to make sure that the movement is coming from the hip joint. Okay, so let's get more specific. Pressure underneath the front foot. You're putting most of the pressure on the big toe and the inner heel of the front foot, something called pronation. But stare at the knee. When you do that, don't let the knee go inside the big toe. In fact, the knee is shooting a laser beam over the third toe, and every single time you come to the hip hinge position, when you stare at the knee, you're checking that point. Is the knee over the third toe? But let me also mention one more thing. When I say over the third toe, I don't mean in this direction. I mean it's shooting a laser over the third toe, but the knee is actually stacked over the front heel. And that's important because we want a perpendicular tibia on the front leg. So we're not here, but we're here, increasing that activity of the hamstrings. Now, additionally, ground resistance. That front foot is pulling back toward the back foot. So if the floor was slippery, that foot would pull back just like this. That's important for increasing activity of the hamstrings and the glute of the front leg. So let's practice. Interlace the fingers, pulling apart. Big toe and inner heel of the front leg, ground resistance pulling that foot back. Knee is pointing a laser over the third toe. The back foot, your left foot, the weight is on the third toe. That's specific, so get it there now. 80% of the body weight is on the front foot and 20% is on the back foot. Now, of course, it doesn't need to be exact. I just want you to visualize that. That's important. So we're here and we're panoramic view and we're staring at the knee. Panoramic view and find your points. Now for today, we are adding a 2-beat breath retention, loosening our abdomen on the engaged exhale and keeping it loose on the breath retention, always moving through the breath retention, only pausing the movement when we go to our engaged inhale, tightening the ribbon around our waist. I know it's a lot of layers. If this is your first time doing this, start only with connecting to the breath, following in tandem with me, that breathography, and connecting to your abdomen, making sure that you don't move from the low back. That's it. Then every single time you perform this movement, you can add another layer if you feel ready, okay? These are all here to optimize the movement, but they don't need to all be done on the first try. So bring those hands up, big toe, inner heel, front foot, ground resistance, pull that front foot back, stare at your knee, third toe, back foot. Here we go from our zip up posture prep. Inhale. Hiss, 2, 3, 4, 5. Inhale, 1. Inhale, 2. Loosen your ribbon. You're holding the breath. 1, 2. Now pause. Inhale. Panorama. Bluff. Stare at the knee. Loosen your ribbon. You're holding. 1, 2. Pause. Inhale. Inhale. Ground resistance. Hold the breath for 1, 2, and you're finished. Excellent, excellent work. Nice level 2 breathography. Now, you need to repeat it on the other side, so you can either rewind the video about 60 seconds so we can perform the exercise together, or you can try it on your own, Stop the video now. To stay true to that tempo, frequency, intensity, and duration of your breathography breath cycles, you may choose to put a metronome on your phone at 60 beats per minute so that you can stay true to that 2-second inhale, that 8-second exhale, always slowing that exhale down, loosening your ab ribbon around your waist on the exhale and keeping it loose on every single one of those breath retentions.